Let's turn our attention to what is happening in the futures markets. Time now for Futures in Focus. Oil under pressure today. President Trump telling OPEC to hold off on cuts. Let's bring in Paul Nolte of Kingsview. He joins us now from the CME. Paul, good morning. Is the first instinct of traders when they see the president tweeting on OPEC to sell crude?
Yeah, it is. You know, there's always the knee-jerk reaction whenever there's a tweet coming out from the president, whether it's on oil or some other issue like trade, and that's the knee-jerk reaction. I don't know if it's necessarily appropriate at this point, but I think energy right now is in a holding pattern, I think, between the $50 and $60 range. Going to be very difficult, I think, to sustain above 60 and probably sustain it below 50 over the next few months here.
I'm curious, why is the news on OPEC more important today than the news on trade, the global macro story? Because you've got kind of a positive and a negative.
No, that's true. And actually what was interesting in the tweet, he made the comment that, you know, the global economy is very fragile, which is kind of curious because he's been pounding the table on how good things are, at least in the United States. So it is kind of odd to see that. And certainly with the production here in the United States, we are now the largest producer on the globe for energy. Yep. So really, I think we're more the price fixer than OPEC is.
Absolutely. Certainly the swing producer, it seems, at the moment. Paul, picking up on that point, I was talking to the Vitol CEO a little while ago, and he was making the point that once we see a lot more pipeline coming on stream in the second half of the year, there's going to be a lot more products hitting the market. How long can prices stay where they are now? Isn't the bigger risk to the downside?
No, I do think the bigger risk is on the downside. And if, and that's a big if, the global economy does slow down here, demand should come off as well, and we could see significantly lower energy prices. But what's interesting with energy is that you wind up with a reversion. So energy prices at very low levels, you wind up with production shut-ins, and you wind up cutting supplies. Prices do rise. So it may be a temporary more than a long-term decline. And as I said, that's why I think we're going to be stuck in that $50 to $60 range. We'll get above 60 for a while, get below 50 for a while, but I don't think it'll stick long-term.